ptac.org or call 677-2529 today.
News brought to you by Arklatex Foot and Ankle Specialists. Call 687-8447.
There will always be a convenient location and a doctor to take care of your foot and ankle needs at one of the 4 Arklatex Foot and Ankle Specialist locations in Shreveport, Bossier, Natchitoches, and Spring Hill. Don't forget to ask about their 3-visit FDA-approved Photonal laser treatment for toenail fungus with gift certificates now available. Need to be seen today? Same-day appointments are available on most days. Come see the difference. Come experience the difference. Arklatex Foot and Ankle Specialist, 687-8447. That's 687-8447.
Are you behind on your federal student loan payments? You may qualify to have your entire student loan forgiven with one free call. That's right, if you're a teacher, police officer, firefighter, or work for a nonprofit, federal programs are still available to have your entire student loan forgiven. Student Loan Options wants to give you free information on all the programs that can help. Call now, 800-374-0311, 800-374-0311, 800-374-0311.
13 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app is a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. John Kay is the president of the Louisiana chapter of Americans for Prosperity. Hey, Mr. John, how are you this morning?
I'm doing really well. How are y'all this morning?
Oh, we're good. Let's shut our hospitals down and move on.
Hold on just a couple of seconds, Miss Panic Artist.
Oh,
let me tell you what John wrote last night. When will you begin to care? Today, meaning yesterday, the Louisiana House of Representatives passed a budget that no one likes. The majority of people in the chamber will likely, this is what I want to talk about, John, the majority of people in the chamber will likely vote to raise taxes in a special session to follow. Even the GOP leader of the House hinted publicly that this should happen. How did that, if nobody liked it, how did the budget pass, and what do you think is going to happen in the upcoming special session?
I think you could go ask just about anyone who voted for the budget, and they don't like the budget. I think that no one was comfortable with it. I think that people were more comfortable voting for that budget than for not voting for one at all, which I can't say I necessarily blame them for. The problem that I run into is there are a lot of folks in the state who, or in the legislature, who are arguing for funding of hospitals and other things in med schools, and I understand that. But at the same time, they're funding things like tax credits in the state, like the movie tax credit specifically, which a lot of people support. But they're supporting funding those things while taking money away from hospitals, taking money away from med schools, et cetera. The question is, where are the priorities in the legislature? Are the priorities with those types of tax credits, or are the priorities with funding hospitals and med schools? I think it's a legitimate question that should be asked. I think there are a lot of misplaced priorities in Baton Rouge. I think this is just an example of one.
I think this is just one of those things they voted on so that people will get ticked. People in Shreveport, when you say close the hospital and the med school, this town is going to go crazy. And the lawmakers who voted for this budget their phones are going to ring off the wall.
They are.
A tactic?
Whether or not I agree with why you're calling your legislator, I think that everyone should be involved. I think everyone should care about what's happening in their state government. Whether or not you're a small government person like myself, or you advocate for a larger government, be involved and care about what your government's working on, what they're doing. Yesterday, this budget that was passed, again, I don't think that you're going to find much of anyone who likes the budget. I think that there are people who will argue that they passed a budget that didn't raise taxes, and that's a good, or that wouldn't raise taxes, and that's a good thing. But I think that the deeper problem is a lot of people voted for this budget with the expectation that they'll come back and raise taxes in the summer just to increase the size of the state budget. I don't think if this budget were passed by the Senate and signed by the governor, I don't think you've heard the end of the budget fight, and that's why people need to stay engaged. This is not the final, and they said it constantly on the floor yesterday of the Louisiana House of Representatives. This is not the final iteration of this budget. Whether or not it's changed by the Senate or it's vetoed and they come back into a special session, this is not the end of the budget discussion. The question is, how much larger will it grow? That's the question that I want to have.
So my question on top of that, to follow that up, would be, John Bell's going to call another special session. But in your mind, Taylor Barra, tell me what Barra said. The leader of the House hints publicly that tax increases should happen. What did he say?
It wasn't Barra. It was Representative Lance Harris. He's in the post as the leader of the GOP in the House. That's Lance Harris. He sat on the floor and he was asked, "Do you think that there should be another special session?" He said something to that effect, and he said that he thinks that there should be another special session. And there was talk yesterday on the floor about whether or not, and just backing up a second, another special session is code for taxes. They can do everything in this session other than taxes. So when we're talking about another special session, I think we have to be clear that we are definitely talking about raising taxes. But there were several questions yesterday about what types of taxes people would support, whether it's a sales tax, which I believe Cameron Henry hinted that he might support in a special session. Lance Harris didn't hint towards what he would support or wouldn't support in a special session.
Americans for Prosperity, your organization, pays a lot of attention to things like this. What kind of tax do you think that some Republicans, a majority of Republicans, might back in that special session?
Well, I think you can look back to the special session we just had in February and early March. Republicans backed the quarter of a penny sales tax and elimination of some exemptions. That's what they supported. They didn't get enough Republicans, thank goodness, on board to pass it, and there were no Democrats, or very few Democrats, that were willing to join them in voting for that. I think that if there's a tax passed in a special session, it will likely be centered around the sales tax with maybe some sort of concession to others who want to have an income type of tax passed. And that's the question moving into a special session. You have part of the legislature, if they're going to raise taxes, will only vote for a sales tax. Part will only vote for an income tax. And how do you reconcile that?
What a mess. John Kay, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Larry Bagley will join us next. He told us yesterday he was going to vote to kill the budget, and he voted for it. We'll talk to him about it.
19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's traffic. Here's Brandon.
For the most part, traffic through the Shreveport-Bossier City area is moving smoothly at this time, but that could change at any minute. So if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Weather.com forecast, mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
Hey guys, pardon the advertising interruption to your radio.
22 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. State Representative Larry Bagley is here once again. He is also on the House Appropriations Committee. Hey, Mr. Larry, how are you this morning?
No, I'm good. I actually don't have to work today. I was trying to sleep a little bit, but I woke up and saw the text.
I'm sorry, Larry.
That's how Erin rolls, my friend.
You didn't wake me up. You didn't wake me up.
So yesterday morning about this time, it was basically budget bad. Yesterday afternoon, if it wasn't budget good, at least it was budget acceptable. What was...
Who are you imitating?
That's my best Tonto.
Not you, Larry, I promise.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What was the change that occurred during the day that made said budget at least acceptable?
Well, when I went we had a little meeting prior to the main House call, and I went in with the Republicans to talk. We always do that, and they asked how many was anybody not going to vote for the budget. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to vote for it. And they wanted to know why, and I told them that you're going to cut the hospitals and mainly the medical school, because that's what one of the things I campaigned on. He said, well, if we fix some of this, can you vote for it? I said, well, it depends on what you're talking about fixing it. So they funded education or higher ed in that, and gave a little bit of money to the medical school, not enough, but they did fund the higher ed part, which was my main concern as far as the medical school was concerned. They took 20% out of TOPS to do that, and I was okay with that because it's still 80% funded. And so I went ahead and voted along with them. At the time I talked to you, none of that was on the table. They had told me that there was going to be 100% TOPS, which I voted for in appropriations, and the other, but the med school was my problem. And when that was at least partly fixed, and I know we're going to end up, it's going to go to the Senate. It's just part of the process. It'll go to the Senate. The Senate will send it back to us, and we will fix or attempt to fix what we need to fix. If we had help from the Democrats in the first special session, we'd be out of this already. And the governor's the one that's pushing this, and he, for whatever reason, they did not support it. There was 41 of us voted, and I was one of them that voted to raise revenue, but the Democrats would not go along, so that put us in this spot. I know the governor said it's the Republicans' fault that that's happening. That's not true. He's the one, or the Democratic Party's been the one that's fought all this the whole time. Now, they don't have a choice now. They're going to have to do something besides just vote no. They've been the ones done that. So that's kind of where we are. It does look bad as far as coming out like that. But again, the medical school was my biggest thing. Once that was partially covered, I was okay to make a stand to try to get this thing fixed.
So if in your mind and the mind of specifically the local Republicans, the representatives who voted for this budget, this is just part of the process and it's going to get fixed by whom?
We'll when it comes back over, we will propose. We'll start in appropriations on Monday, trying to get it ready to be for when it comes back to us. The Senate won't have it long; they'll send it back, and then we will have to propose the measures to fix it with. Now, again, this morning, we haven't done that yet, but I would think that part of that would be possibly we're supposed to, the penny is supposed to sunset off in July. And probably what we're going to do is maybe keep a little bit of that, not the whole penny. So it'll be like a tax reduction, but not as big a tax reduction as we're going to do. So it's, I think it's will be enough revenue, and we'll look at that. Office staffs look at that now to try to decide exactly how much money we'll need and where. And, of course, that has been another situation. I've asked in appropriations under oath, the administration, if we've got a cliff, why are you giving pay raises? And certainly everybody deserves a pay raise, me and you both. And civil service got one last year. They're already going to get one next year. He told them, I asked the administration, Jay Darden, how come, if you're giving these pay raises, why do you say we have a cliff? Most people don't do that. And then I asked him, what about the teachers? Teachers supported the governor last time. You hadn't said a word about giving them a pay raise. I would think that they'd need a pay raise. And he turned and answered another question. Did not answer my question. So those are the situations that we're having on appropriations. We're not, we understand that it's a critical situation. No one wants to run anybody out of the nursing home. My dad passed away 2 years ago. He was in a nursing home with Alzheimer's, and that's a critical situation for all of us. Nobody wants to see a hospital shut down. When that comes back to us, it will be fixed with the cooperation of the Democrats. They're going to have to do their part. And once that's done, we'll be in good shape.
You had mentioned yesterday that there was, and you can clarify, like $360 million, for lack of a better term, lying around that you hoped would be earmarked for hospitals, the med school, etc. But you said until they promised that it would be for that, you'd have to vote no. Do you feel better about that? Clear that up for us.
It's $462 million.
Okay.
That the LDH got, and again, that money can be spent anywhere. It's in the LDH budget. That was one of those things that it was not clear what they were going to do and could do anything with it. As it comes, we do know that's still there. That hadn't changed. There's also $50 million that the governor will not recognize, which means REC, the Revenue Estimating Commission, cannot recognize.
Do you feel better that money may be going where you want it to go?
Well, it's going to go for money once we get out of appropriations. we'll appropriate, but we can't even do anything with that $50 million until the REC recognizes it. That's the way it works. We know it's there. They haven't recognized it yet. But as we go to appropriations, we'll know. And when it goes to the Senate, we're going to know exactly how much money. See, we've never gotten the exact number. We've gotten this money here, it's money there, but we have never gotten the exact numbers. And that's what I asked Jay Darden that day in committee. What is the number? And of course, we hear $1 billion, and we hear there was going to be some money from the federal government. It's going to be $600 million. We never, that number kept changing. It's changed again. Now it's down to, I think the last time I heard was $600 million, maybe, that we know for sure. But that'll change again the next time the REC meets.
Larry, let me ask you, our last minute or so, what is your message today to the folks that are listening to you, the hundreds of folks at University Health Hospital?
I'm going to say that I'm doing everything I can, and as far as and I can't speak for everyone, but I think that all this is going to work out. That we're going to go back in. The Senate will pass it back to us, and we're going to pass revenue bills or our bills that will take care of all the budget problem, and we'll make it all work. I know, and certainly nobody wants to talk about revenue, but this is a little different deal here in that we've got revenue coming off a penny tax, sales tax. If we maybe keep a little bit of that to get us through, and I'm not going to be surprised if before the year's out that we can even remove that if the expected revenue comes in that we're looking at. I mean, I think this thing is, we're really fortunate we had that $1 billion drop, but the things are better now. Everything's better. Oil, revenues in, all of it. So, I mean, it's not as dreadful as it seems. And when I looked at that and saw that, my fear was, and the fear of the people in the Republican Party, that if we didn't, the Senate has got to tell us, and they will, how much money exactly do we need? Where is it? Because we've never really heard that amount has been shifting. And in your own budget, how do you make a budget if you don't know how much money you owe? And that's been our problem the entire time.
Larry Bagley, thank you so much for your time this morning. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure you will, and I appreciate it.
You bet.
You'll have a good day.
Especially before the sun comes up. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Brandon.
For the most part, traffic through the Shreveport-Bossier City area is moving smoothly at this time, but that could change at any minute. So if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. We'll see plenty of sunshine for today. It'll be nice, a high of 69 this afternoon, turning cloudy for tonight with a low of 50. Clouds around tomorrow with a shower or heavy thunderstorm late in the afternoon and into the tomorrow night. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Courtney Spamer.
There was massive damage. deserve better than this.
Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater says proposed cuts to house state inmates in local jails would hit hard. He says it will be tough to absorb the cost.
What the state's basically doing is, with this budget, in respect to the sheriff's office, is that they're putting their priorities above ours. That's not tax cuts. That's not any kind of cuts to their budgets. It's cuts to our budget.
Prater says he already loses money housing state inmates, and this latest package would cut the state funding by $3 a day per inmate. This is the day students around the country are expected to walk out of class at 10 this morning to mark the 19th year since the Columbine High School massacre. More than 2,000 events are planned across the nation. Now, we asked local superintendents if anything is scheduled here, and from Caddo, we're told, quote, our principals are not aware of any student intentions locally to participate in the national walkout. Many of our campuses are in the midst of state testing, and that's where many students are focusing at this time. From Bossier, and I'm quoting, the core issue we're dealing with is school safety. The Bossier School Board is addressing like no other system I know of. We've added SROs to every high school with over 500 students. We'll now have a minimum of 2 SROs. He says he's not heard of any walkout at local schools, and any that do, it would be treated as a non-excused absence. Meantime, a new religious policy passes in Bossier schools. The new policy states students are free to promote and express their religious beliefs at school. The policy also clearly states that no school faculty or staff are permitted to endorse, participate in, or cause prayer during school or school-related events. A big announcement on the political front in Shreveport is set for next week. Adrian Perkins has set an event for Thursday where he says he will announce that he is running for mayor. Several good-paying job opportunities on the way for Houghton. Reuben Wright with that.
10 acres of land just off of I-20 in Houghton has been purchased for development by Duckwater Services to house 2 tenants, Miller Maintenance Services and Frackenvac. The 2 companies will bring a total of 28 new direct jobs to Houghton. Duckwater will be building its 15,000 square foot facility that will offer tank cleaning services as well as a commercial waste and water treatment operation. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
2 fatal crashes in our community. One was Line Avenue at Monrovia yesterday. It involved a motorcyclist, and there was another crash early this morning. Happened on Market in front of Coyote's Bar. Caddo Commission held a vote for tax exemption for a local company. A large number of folks attended the meeting opposing the tax exemption for Calumet. However, 10 commissioners voted in favor of the exemptions. The tax exemption would cover $450,000 over 5 years, involves 83 jobs. President Trump's lawyer is seeking a delay in a court case brought by a porn actress who claims she had an affair with the president. A hearing is set for today in the Stormy Daniels case in Los Angeles. And an Alabama mayor says the last train car full of New York City sewage sludge that has stunk up her town has finally been emptied. For more than 2 months, the sludge has blown an unbearable stench throughout the small town of Parrish. Mayor Heather Hall said on social media that all of the containers have now been emptied. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Hey, I'm Dr. K.
Representative Alan Seabaugh, his take on the budget thing. I don't want to lean one way or the other. Coming up next, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update, and Brandon's here.
Shreveport Bossier City area is moving smoothly at this time, but that could change at any minute. So if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
Hey, this is Dalton Gould of Louisiana Power Sports and RV announcing the April LPS 150. 150 Polaris is sold in 30 days.
Hold on, Bull. You don't have the range to discount our Polaris inventory enough to sell 150 units in 30 days?
Bull, it's everywhere. The biggest discounts Louisiana Power Sports has ever offered and rebates up to $2,500.
Louisiana Power Sports, get ready to ride.
3715 Benton Road, Bossier City, Louisiana. Come join the family.
Hi, this is Tiffany Sandifer with Bayou State Construction Group. We are offering free hail and wind inspections. We do things the right way. We nail our shingles by hand and we only use local American labor. That's Bayou State Construction Group, 459-9735. BayouStateRoofing.com.
The 50th Bird High School Reunion. Tune in to the Best of Times radio hour for the information Saturday, April 21st at 9:05 a.m. on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty at 742. Keel app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. State Representative Alan Seabaugh here for a couple of seconds. Hey, Mr. Allen, thank you for taking time for us today.
How are y'all this morning?
Oh, we're all right. You approved the budget. It was a narrow margin, 55-47. Budget kind of smelly, though, Alan.
Not really. I'm after all the doom and gloom coming from the governor and his minions, I was a little surprised to see the sun come up this morning. The fact of the matter is what you're hearing out of the governor is hyperbole, and it's not actually true, and it's just another effort in his never-ending quest to reach deeper into your pocket. Let me give you a couple of facts.
Okay.
This budget increased spending by $2 billion over last year. The LDH budget, which is what everybody's pointing to, 2 years ago was $9 billion. This year it's 13. Nothing closed 2 years ago at $9 billion. But this year they're saying they're going to shutter all the hospitals at $13 billion. They wanted 13.5. They got 13. They got more funding. The fact of the matter is the legislature can't tell LDH how to spend the money. We legislate them a lump sum. They decide how to parcel it out. So all this talk about we're going to cut this and we're going to cut that, they're saying that they're going to cut the things that people notice and that actually hurt, while they're going to fund the things that nobody cares about. And the reason they're saying that is because they want all the hyperbole and the doom and gloom. The fact of the matter is they're doing a disservice to the people of the state of Louisiana because it's just simply not honest. I mean, again, if 2 years ago nothing closed at $9 billion, why in the world would medical schools and hospitals shut down by getting $13 billion? It's ridiculous. The numbers do not justify the hyperbole.
But they're saying they're saying it on both sides. There are people saying it on both sides. Larry Bagley said this does leave leaves our hospitals in jeopardy.
If the governor does the cuts if they allocate the money from it that we appropriate to LDH the way they say they're going to, it would. But that's on the governor and the administration. They're the ones who appropriate, who spend the money within LDH. We gave LDH $4 billion, almost 50% increase over 2 years ago. What they're saying is how they're going to spend the money. All we can do is give them a lump sum. And everything that you're hearing out of them is doom and gloom, and it's all designed to scare people into raising taxes. And, there is going to be a special session. There's nothing we can do about it. The governor's going to call a special session and try again to raise probably a sales tax. I don't think he can get to 70 votes. I said it before the first special. I'll say it now. I don't think there's 70 votes to raise taxes. I really don't. And so whatever budget we pass is very likely to be the budget of Louisiana. He may veto it. He probably, if the Senate passes it, he'll probably veto it, and we'll come back to a second special and try again. But I don't think there's 70 votes to raise taxes. And if there's not, we better get serious about how we spend the money that we have.
You said a second or two ago, you gave the explanation for the money going for private, public, partnership hospitals, et cetera. If that's legit, and you've always been legit with us, why aren't all the other Republicans in the House trumpeting the same explanation you are?
We did from the House floor yesterday. Cameron Henry, the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, who actually is the author of the budget, said so on the House floor. I mean, he talked about it. We can't parcel out and tell LDH how to allocate the money. All we do is give them a lump sum. Everything else is done by them. So any cuts that they say that are coming are decisions that they made. And again, I just point you to the numbers. 2 years ago, $9 billion, nothing closed. This year, $13 billion, and we got to shutter all the hospitals. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's hyperbole, and the governor's doubling down. I mean, he was, but the first special, I need $994 million, no negotiation, $994 or nothing.
Where's all the money going, Alan? Where's all that from $9 billion to $13 billion? Where is it?
Medicaid expansion. Well, we have able-bodied people who are able to work on Medicaid, getting state assistance, so that people that actually need it are not getting the service that they need. In fact, a study came out that showed, I think it was 5,500 Louisiana residents who were truly needy died because they couldn't get Medicaid service, they couldn't get health care because they had to stand in line behind healthy people that have the means to afford health insurance were put on the Medicaid rolls. Medicaid expansion has been a disaster.
Isn't that $300 million? Isn't that just $300 million? We're talking about $4 billion.
No. Wait, all right, you're talking about two different numbers.
Okay.
You're talking about, all right, the $4 billion includes federal money. The $300 million, it's actually more than that. It's more like $900, is state effort that goes into it. And there's a federal match. So that's where the extra money comes from. But what happens is that extra $1 billion, it's like 900-something million, that we're having to spend of state dollars because of the Medicaid expansion. And yes, we get federal match from it, but that's state general fund money that could be spent somewhere else that we're having to spend on Medicaid expansion because of the governor's executive order. And the Medicaid expansion, when they talk about when you hear them talk about the money that Medicaid expansion has saved them, it's absolutely not true, because they've written into their numbers is a presumption that everybody on Medicaid had no health insurance before, and that's not accurate. They move people from private insurance to Medicaid, and so their numbers are not accurate. What number we do know is accurate is the increase in spending because of the expansion of Medicaid. That's what's blowing the budget up, and that was done unilaterally by the governor and his administration, and they're making the decisions on how to spend this money. And what they're doing is saying, okay, we need more and more and more. I mean, for a guy who ran for office on I'm not going to raise taxes, he's called, 6 special sessions trying to raise taxes? I mean, it's a never-ending broken record from him. I need more and more and more. And if we would have raised taxes in the first special, there probably still would have been another second special, because he wants more than we actually need. Had we raised the $994 that he was demanding in the first special, had we done that, we would have raised too much, because as I said from the House floor, and I said on your show, the $994 number that he keeps trumpeting is not an accurate number. He's now saying $650, which is much closer to accurate, but it's still not accurate, and everybody involved in the process knows it. And, I mean, what he's trying to do is get us to raise more taxes. And by throwing hyperbole and doom and gloom. Remember, a couple of years ago, he's going to cancel LSU football because we can't afford it. I mean, I don't know how his nose isn't growing, but every time he talks about the budget and all this, and he's got the higher ed people, and now it's the medical school and the hospital directors all sending out these doom and gloom notices, and they're going to have to let people off, and they're going to have to kick people out of nursing homes. It's just not accurate. And it's a scare tactic, and frankly, I'm kind of tired of it.
Alan Seabaugh, State Representative, we thank you for your time this morning. Sounds frustrating, that's for sure.
It's very frustrating. Well, we had a good day yesterday. I mean, we actually passed the budget. We had 55 votes, and we only needed 53, so it was a tight vote. But what I found interesting was Democrats, who are all screaming about how horrible this is, offered 0 amendments. 0. They didn't try to fix anything. They showed up to sit on their hands and vote no. They offered absolutely no amendments to the budget. So if they don't like it, I guess look in the mirror. We crafted a budget that increased spending. We fully funded higher education, somewhat at the expense of TOPS. Higher ed people came and said, if you have to choose between fully funding TOPS and fully funding higher ed, we would prefer to fully fund higher ed and reduce TOPS. So we did. We cut TOPS to 80%, fully funded higher ed, used the rest of it to go back to LDH. Yeah, we didn't give them the $13.5 billion they're asking, but we gave them 13.
Alan,
which again, $4 billion more than they had 2 years ago.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ghali is going to join us just past 8 o'clock this morning. Looking forward to his comments. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you.
7:51. It's 101.7 FM. 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Brandon's here on KEEL.
For the most part, traffic through the Shreveport-Bossier City area is moving smoothly at this time, but that could change at any minute. So if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
If you ever want to buy a house or a car, you're going to want to know your credit score. If there's a mistake on your credit reports, you could pay more in interest rates and fees than you have to. Where can you go online to quickly get your credit score and credit report for free? CreditKarma.com/radio. Check it whenever you like. It's free and there's no catch. Don't get an unwanted surprise about your credit score. Go to CreditKarma.com/radio. That's CreditKarma.com/radio.
The Mudbugs lose Game 3 on the road at Corpus Christi, but hold on to a 2-1 lead in the playoff series game for tonight at the Ice Rays Arena. LSU fans get a chance to see how the battle for Tigers quarterback is shaping up next season when Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse take snaps in Saturday's spring game. Speaking of LSU, the baseball team begins a 3-game series tonight, South Carolina. The road has not been friendly to the Bayou Bengals as they are 2-8 away from Alex Box Stadium. The Golden State Warriors and New Orleans Pelicans each have 3-0 leads in the NBA's Western Conference quarterfinals, and the Philadelphia 76ers are up 2-1 in their Eastern Conference quarterfinal series. Finally, the Boston Bruins and Washington Capitals, last night's Stanley Cup playoff winners. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Brandon Michael.
You know how to tell if somebody's serious about their work? I'm not going to tease the number he's going to call on. You mean?
Of course not, you ultramaroon.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. Dr. G.E. Ghali, the chancellor at LSU Health Shreveport, will join us at about 10 past 8 o'clock.
Oh, boy.
And
I'm sure he's not a happy man
now
today.
How do you know? How do you
Well,
know? Maybe
I'm sure he's not.
maybe he's going along with what Alan Seabaugh said and said, look, you got LDH, Louisiana Department of Health, getting $4 billion a year more.
Reallocate it.
Then a couple of, and how you spend it's up to you.
We'll see what he
or
says
how
about
they
that.
maybe the hospital system here and maybe the public-private partnership hospitals Maybe the problem they really have is, and Dr. Ghali will certainly expound on this, maybe the problem they really have is the problem that we all have with Baton Rouge. The money goes to the bureaucracy, and after it filters through all the layers, you don't get what you think is rightfully yours.
What did Greg Tarver tell us yesterday? If we tell the departments to all cut their budgets, they'll come back with these drastic cuts that will hurt things like hospitals. Is that what's happening?
Erin has asked that of everyone involved with the budget, from the governor on down. The governor, Jay Darden, the list goes on and on. Why can't every department cut 10%? You know who the only one who says, yeah, they could do that, is Alan Seabaugh. All the others, Greg Tarver told us yesterday, you said, why couldn't every department cut 10%? And Greg Tarver said, well, they could, but the first thing they'd cut would be services to the people they serve.
That would make people PO'd.
They're going to do it so that you feel it, not that they're going to feel it.
We're going to talk to Dr. Ghali about that because I know it's frustrating for him.
756, 101. Maybe he's looking, hey, $4 billion more. Where's mine?
Yeah.
756, it's 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Sean Hannity.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
So the mainstream media has been so busy continuing their breathless and hysterical smear campaign against President Trump, they overlooked some great news on the economy. The supermarket chain Kroger said that they will make new investments in employee benefits, expand tuition reimbursements, and increase wages. Cincinnati.com reports that Kroger is going to invest up to $21,000 in each employee's education over multiple years. Now, this news came on the heels of last week's announcement that the supermarket giant was planning to hire an additional 11,000 employees for new positions, including 2,000 management roles, all thanks to President Trump and his tax cuts. I know the alt-left, out-of-touch elites in the mainstream media, they continue their attempts to destroy the president. He continues to keep his promises and creating jobs in a safer world.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
759 Keel traffic update. Here's Brandon.
For the most part, traffic through the Shreveport-Bossier City area is moving smoothly at this time, but that could change at any minute. So if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
Right now, 47 degrees. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, 8 o'clock. Here's Fox.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Tons of local news. Erin's got it next.
Student walkouts nationwide. Will any happen here? We'll talk more about that. The budget gets passed on the House side, but some say it could be devastating. And a pretty large hat is in the mayoral ring.
What a thing to say about a guy you've never met. Dr. G.E. Ghali, he is the chancellor of LSU Health Science Center. He's the dean of the School of Medicine, and that House budget got passed. We'll see what he thinks. Is he in panic mode?
We're catching up with him in Miami.
And State Rep Raymond Cruz just a bit later this hour. In the meantime, Brandon has sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's here on Keel. 9 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The latest Friday morning traffic. Here's Brandon. Good morning. It's 12 past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Dr. G.E. Ghali is the chancellor at LSU Health in Shreveport and the dean of the School of Medicine. Dr. Ghali, how are you this morning? Thanks for taking time with us.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
How disappointed are you? The House passes the budget. It looks like hospitals they're claiming could force to be closed. Is that really accurate?
That's correct.
Alan Seabaugh just told us that LDH got $9 billion 2 years ago, and this budget has $13 billion. It's the way they're allocating the money. You agree with how he comments on that?
Well, I mean, Representative Seabaugh's correct in the fact that there's been an increase in allocation to LDH. There's been an increase in expenses and an increase in programs. I mean, the bill that is currently, Erin, the bill that is currently passed the House and now is going to be put forward to the Senate, completely, pretty much defunds health care to the safety net hospitals, all the public-private partner hospitals in the North and the South, as well as graduate medical education. The big issue is that graduate medical education in Louisiana is very, very tied to the funding of the public-private hospitals. So if you look at our particular case in Shreveport, we have an operating budget just for the health science center, not including the hospital, a little over about $300 to $320 million. Of that amount, nearly half of that operating budget comes from services that we provide, that the residents, the fellows, and the faculty doctors provide at the University Health Hospital. So 50%, about 55% of that. And if they cut the funding to the University Hospital, then we're looking at a 55% reduction to our operating budget. And that's just not sustainable. That's not sustainable.
If Representative Seabaugh's point, I think, was that if LDH got $9 million a couple of years ago,
$9 billion.
Or $9 billion, I'm sorry, and is this year's getting 13, and it wasn't crisis panic button time 2 years ago, why is it now?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask the legislature. They're the ones that work with the Louisiana Department of Health to allocate the money. I'm telling you that it's an embarrassment when higher education, or in this case healthcare, is not supported in the budget at all. It's just not supported.
What kind of message is this sending?
It's a terrible message, Erin. Look, we're never going to have problems getting students to any of the 2 LSU medical schools, because we're talking 3,000 people applying for 150 to 200 positions at each institution. We're never going to have a problem getting people quantitatively to apply to medical school and to stay in Louisiana. But we're going to have a problem qualitatively, because who's going to send their child to school when there's always a question of whether it's going to close or not? And we're losing some of the best and brightest people to outside the state.
We've also spoken this morning with State Representative Larry Bagley, who said that yesterday's House, the budget that passed the House, he said it's part of the process, and that he thought the solution there was a lot easier and simpler than people were implying. Do you think do you see that? Do you see his point? Is he right?
Well, he may be right that it's part of the process. Representative Bagley may be right about that, but it's part of a wrong process. I mean, think about this. Every single year, we're looking at cuts, and every single year they ask me, okay, what are you going to cut? What do I cut? Do I cut the trauma center? Do I cut the burn center? Do I, cut a particular research program, the cancer center? I mean, these are all essential programs for our citizens in North Louisiana and for the whole region. If it is part of a normal process, it's an unacceptable process. Something has to change, because it's demoralizing to the students, to the faculty, and frankly to the patients as well. They get concerned. What do we do? Do we finish up our cancer treatment in Houston or in Dallas?
The budget that came out of the Appropriations Committee, the House Appropriations Committee, and I guess which was basically the budget they passed yesterday, that TOPS seems to be the most important thing, that we're going to fund TOPS to the expense of a lot of other really important things. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're taking a back seat to the state scholarship program?
Well, we're in healthcare and in medicine, we're all about education. And I think TOPS is important. I think it needs to be restructured. I think, there's some issues within TOPS that need to be restructured. But I have no ill will toward funding TOPS. I think it's an essential, great program, but I do think it needs to be tweaked a bit to get the best out of it. Now, I will tell you that, do we feel we're taking a second seat? Well, I feel, constitutionally, our state has an issue, with the fact that the only 2 things you can cut are higher ed and health care. I mean, those are the 2 things that everybody should be allowed to get, and those are the 2 things that are on the chopping block all the time. But no, I don't think we're taking a second seat. I think we're taking a bad seat. I think it needs to be fixed to where we don't have to go through this every single year. It is just unacceptable, and I can tell you the governor doesn't think this is funny at all. His response to me is, what is funny about potentially closing the school or potentially closing a hospital? It's not funny, and it really sends a bad message, I think. And look, these are great people that are in the legislature. They are smart men and women. Many of them are community leaders, but it does send a bad message when here we're going to send something forward that we know ultimately the school's not going to close, and we know ultimately the hospital's not going to close, but we're not going to send a budget forward that funds either the hospital or the medical school. I may understand that, but I can tell you the average student or the parent of the average student does not appreciate that kind of posturing.
You feel like a pawn. You feel like a pawn in a big chess game.
Absolutely, and Erin, I've received tons of emails. I can show you tons of emails that I've received from parents, concerned parents, students, and employees, at our health science center. I mean, these are people that don't necessarily even live in Shreveport, but they're parents of students that are concerned, about the longevity of the health science center. We have to deal with this kind of issue.
What's your message today to university health employees and med school employees? What's your message to them today?
Well, my message to them is that we're going to continue to fight for the health science center, including the hospital. That I think that this kind of posturing is, some people may consider it normal politics in Louisiana, but it's demoralizing and it's really unacceptable. I think look, I mean, I pay tons of taxes. I'm not into raising taxes hugely, but I know that sometimes we have to do certain things in order to take care of everybody and take care of what we consider important. The two most important economic drivers in North Louisiana are Barksdale and the Health Science Center.
Dr. G.E. Golly, I can't thank you enough for your time. I know you're busy this morning. Safe travels getting home, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all very much.
You bet.
21 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic right now. Here's Ruben.
AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
Men, are you tired of those days?
Twenty-three past 8 o'clock, time for sports.
The Mudbugs lose Game 3 on the road at Corpus Christi, but hold on to a 2-1 lead in the playoff series game for tonight at the Ice Rays Arena. LSU fans get a chance to see how the battle for Tigers quarterback is shaping up next season when Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse take snaps in Saturday's spring game. Speaking of LSU, the baseball team begins a 3-game series tonight, South Carolina. The road has not been friendly to the Bayou Bengals as they are 2-8 away from Alex Box Stadium. The Golden State Warriors and New Orleans Pelicans each have 3-0 leads in the NBA's Western Conference quarterfinals, and the Philadelphia 76ers are up 2-1 in their Eastern Conference quarterfinal series. Finally, the Boston Bruins and Washington Capitals, last night's Stanley Cup playoff winners. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Brandon Michael.
26 past 8, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. Okay. I need your help.
I got it.
And I guess State Representative Raymond Cruz a bit later this hour, he'll be sort of the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I got this. Okay. So Representative Alan Seabaugh says that the LDH, Louisiana Department of Health, 2 years ago got $9 billion.
Yeah.
In this budget, they get $13 billion.
Mm-hmm.
He says that's a $4 billion increase.
In 2 years.
In 2 years.
Okay.
He said LDH is responsible for distributing that money to the state public-private partnership hospitals.
And they want you to know, they want everybody to panic, so they're saying the hospitals will have to close.
That LSU Health Shreveport and the School
New
of Medicine,
Orleans.
so their cut comes out of that $13 billion.
Sure.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Ghali, the chancellor, he doesn't dispute that. What he's saying is, yeah, but things cost a lot more.
Costs have gone up.
And it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere, Alan's saying, look, you got $4 billion more.
Right.
LDH distributes it the way they want. Your problem is not with the legislature. Your problem is not with this budget. Your problem is with the Louisiana Department of Health.
Right. That you're understanding correctly.
So
if that's accurate, we ought to catch up with people who will tell the other side from what Alan is saying. If there is another side,
we've gotten both sides. There's Alan, who says, look, we gave $4 billion more than 2 years ago to LDH.
Right.
Dr. Ghali saying, that's $4 billion. Yeah, but that's not enough.
But, I always worry when somebody says they're getting $4 billion than they got 2 years ago. Well, what about last year? Did they get $13 billion last year? And now we're, you know what I mean? Or did they get...
The point is...
Because that's like the governor's pointing to 2008 because that's the Katrina year. That budget was way higher.
But look,
let's compare last year to this year. Let's see.
It's not like Dr. Ghali disputed what Alan had said.
No, he did not.
What he said was that $4 billion ain't enough. Now, understand, it doesn't
it's been sucked up.
It doesn't all... So is the...
Medicaid expansion took a punch of it, that's for sure.
That's on the governor. Okay?
You bet it is.
And when John Bell signed up, when he decided to expand Medicaid recipients in Louisiana...
With his executive order...
The point being, everybody knew, including John Bell, that the Fed picks up the majority of that expense for 2 years, and then it falls on the state.
Then it's on you, baby.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. So there's that.
So break out your wallet.
28 past 8 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update coming up right now. Representative Raymond Cruz in about 10 or 15 minutes, by the way. He'll be the tiebreaker. I mean, he's like best two out of three.
We'll see.
Traffic time. Here's Brandon.
In the Shreveport-Bossier City area with a major accident slowing things down at Walker Road and Terry Bradshaw Passway. A couple of minor accidents slowing things down as well at East Burt Coons and Mercedes-Benz Drive and at Caddo Street and Common Street. If you see anything else, make sure you let us know on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. We'll see plenty of sunshine for today. It'll be nice, a high of 69 this afternoon, turning cloudy for tonight with a low of 50. Clouds around tomorrow with a shower or heavy thunderstorm late in the afternoon and into tomorrow night. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Courtney Spamer.
Have you ever wondered
Casino. Okay, you got that? As in Erin longs to go to the casino, but just doesn't have the nerve. Casino. You could be a $5,000 Keel Cash winner. Check it out on the website, keelnews.com.
The House narrowly passes a budget that would fund TOPS at 80% and maintain higher ed funding, but would implement deep cuts in health care funding. House Democrats nearly unanimously voted against the budget. New Orleans Representative Gary Carter says if passed, the spending plan would kill people.
If these cuts come through, it would be reasonable to expect the loss of life because people won't have as much access to health care that they currently have.
Governor John Bel Edwards says if the budget reaches his desk, he won't sign it. He says it's a budget unworthy of the people of our state.
The types of cuts that I just described to you do not happen in the state of Louisiana. The state is better than this. They deserve better than this.
Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater says proposed cuts to house state inmates in local jails would hit hard. He says it will be tough to absorb the cost.
What the state's basically doing is, with this budget, in respect to the sheriff's office, is that they're putting their priorities above ours. That's not tax cuts. That's not any kind of cuts to their budget. It's cuts to our budget.
Prater says he already loses money housing state inmates, and this latest package would cut the state funding by $3 a day per inmate. This is the day students around the country are expected to walk out of class at 10 this morning to mark the 19th year since the Columbine High School massacre. More than 2,000 events are planned across the nation. Now, we asked local superintendents if anything is scheduled here. And from Caddo, we're told, quote, our principals are not aware of any student intentions locally to participate in the national walkout. Many of our campuses are in the midst of state testing, and that's where many students are focusing at this time. From Bossier, and I'm quoting, the core issue we're dealing with is school safety. The Bossier School Board is addressing like no other system I know of. We've added SROs to every high school with over 500 students. We'll now have a minimum of 2 SROs. He says he's not heard of any walkout at local schools. A major drug bust by state. The House narrowly passed a budget that would fund the plan goes to. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater, meantime, says state lawmakers are being irresponsible in considering a budget that cuts funding. A big announcement on the police.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer. Forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
The power of information.
The House now.
KEEL News. KEEL News now.
The House narrowly passes a budget that would fund TOPS at 80% and maintain higher ed funding.
AccuWeather.com forecast. I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
They deserve.
This is the day students.
Nope. 1017 F. No, hold on a second. My mic is on. Your mic is off.
They couldn't hear me.
And we're having a conversation. No, that's the problem. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. What? I don't need Adrian Perkins' Facebook page.
Okay.
He's going to run for mayor.
Yeah.
And there's a thing on his page that says Perkins for mayor. And everybody within 100 miles of here, everybody on this flat earth, as Matt would say, has known for 90 days that Adrian Perkins is going to run for mayor.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what?
Yeah, he's running for mayor.
What?
I got this message from him yesterday evening, and it's a direct message. It says, now the cat is out of the bag.
When? I'm just kidding. Yeah, okay.
The cat clawed its way out a long time ago, but
I got news for you.
Yeah.
He let it out.
He put kibbles right outside the
I'm
bag.
having more exploratory committees than Lewis and Clark.
He says he would love to come on the show the morning after the announcement.
Absolutely.
Let me know if you'll have me. Of course we'll have you.
I hear he's running for mayor.
Yeah, running for mayor. Announcement is Thursday. He's doing a big shindig. Is it at the Hilton downtown? I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah.
Big shindig announcing he's running for mayor for this great city.
Who?
Adrian Perkins.
Since when?
Running for mayor. Ken Kraft's running too, by the way. I ran into him last night.
What's the over and under? Pick a number right now. I'm thinking 8. I was going to say 6. That's not enough.
How many candidates for mayor?
The total number of
double digits.
The total number of candidates.
Double digits.
In the first primary.
10.
So you're thinking 10?
I'm thinking 10.
839, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. State Rep Raymond Cruz is coming up next. Mr. Raymond is going to be the tiebreaker.
Okay.
I'll explain what we mean. Here's traffic. Here's Brandon.
Traffic starting to get a little tricky in the Shreveport-Bossier City area with a major accident slowing things down at Walker Road and Terry Bradshaw Passway. A couple of minor accidents slowing things down as well at East Burt Coons and Mercedes-Benz Drive and at Caddo Street and Common Street. If you see anything else, make sure you let us know on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. We'll see plenty of sunshine for today. It'll be nice, a high of 69 this afternoon, turning cloudy for tonight with a low of 50. Clouds around tomorrow with a shower or heavy thunderstorm late in the afternoon and into tomorrow night. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Courtney Spamer.
Are you behind?
The Senate may not even vote on a budget. Committee, who will meet on Sunday, it's possible the Senate may not even vote on a budget.
Courtney Spamer.
Meantime, a new religion.
841, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. State Representative Raymond Cruz is here for a couple of seconds. Hey, Mr. Raymond, how are you today?
Hey, Robert and Aaron, I'm doing great.
We need your help. You are going to be our tiebreaker for the morning. You're going to kind of straighten us out. So here's where I need your help. First of all,
don't tell him names.
First of all, are you in an F-111 right now?
No, I'm actually in a Buick driving down the road. I had to borrow my wife's car today.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so here's the question. So we had Representative Seabaugh on in the 7 o'clock hour, and he said that after the budget had gone through the Appropriations Committee and it was passed yesterday by you guys, and there's all this criticism and all this hair-on-fire reaction about hospitals closing, etc. And Mr. Allen said, hold on a second. 2 years ago, LDH, Louisiana Department of Health, got $9 billion. He said this budget gives them 13. How they distribute that is up to them. Last hour, we had Dr. Galley on, who's the chancellor at the medical school. He said, yeah, but that's just not enough because it's 2 years later, then there's tons of more things to pay for. Who's right?
Well, we always want to find someone to blame. I understand that. The fact is, it's Schedule 9 in House Bill 1, which talks about where the money goes to the Department of Health. I actually had it in the car when I heard y'all talking about that, and I opened it up, and it does not say, hey, medical school here, medical school there. It really is the Department of Health to figure out where they're going to do that. They're going to make their play on what their priority is, and I guess that's the way it's fallen. But, yeah, we fund them, and then they have to decide how they're going to divvy that money up. So, I mean, I hate to put it back in their court, but that's really where it belongs.
So they're not being cut at all, you're saying. LDH is not being cut at all. All this is baloney.
Well, they've got more money than they had in the past. The problem, like you mentioned or alluded to earlier, was with the Medicaid expansion, they're taking a lot of patients where they don't get reimbursed the same way they do with private insurance. So there's a problem there because the reimbursement rates just aren't the same.
So Dr. Galley's problem, the medical school's problem, University Health's problem, the problem is not with the budget that was passed yesterday. The problem is with basically with John Bell for expanding Medicaid and LDH and how they distribute the funds that they're given.
Well, Robert, I mean, you've had several people on, and they all have a piece of the pie there, or a piece of the answer. And part of it is we had to put the money out there that we know is coming. I mean, the budget is, hey, how much is coming in? How do you split it up? So it's not that we could solve everybody's problem with the money we had. There's got to be some cuts somewhere. So this is a responsible budget in the sense that it takes the money that we know is coming and it divides it up. Now, what we hope and what we all think is going to happen is we're going to see even more revenue recognized as we get closer to that June 4th date. So I think some of this is still going to be alleviated further. We're going to be able to plug some of those holes. But the real thing is we got a conservative movement in the state. They're tired of just shelling out tax money. They want to see some cuts. So here are the cuts. Now they see what they look like. And now they can decide more accurately, hey, do we need to raise revenue or do we not? But there's absolutely no way people were willing to open up their wallets without seeing what the implications are going to be.
Raymond Cruz, for me, I'm worried this is a little bit of Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Is the sky falling?
Well, I got to tell you, Erin, I'm kind of in that same boat. I mean, this has been charged several times now, and we haven't seen the drastic problems that are continue to be expounded on. But I think the problems aren't nearly severe as the governor's letting on. I mean, matter of fact, if you look at House Bill 1, it's much better than his budget. We have 80% of the TOPS funded in this. He had none. So you got to compare to what he thought, or what he put out there, which I thought was an irresponsible budget, to what we got now, which was much better. And then we go forward, and I think it's going to be even better than this. But
he says he won't sign this, though. He says he won't sign this budget.
Well, I'm going to have to ask him to reconsider. I don't wish him any ill will, But I think the way he's going is not the way to solve the problems of Louisiana to move forward.
Alan made the point with us last hour. He said a couple of years ago the LDH budget was $9 billion, and nobody at any hospital anywhere, nobody was jumping up and down saying hospitals are going to close. He says now there's $4 billion more in that budget, and it's the end of the world. There is a bit of a disconnect there. Fair enough?
There is, and I tell you, if you want to raise more tax revenue, there's no better way than to say everything's going to close.
So this is basically, and Erin will love this, this year's hospitals are going to close is last year's LSU football will be canceled.
Boy, it sure sounds that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, Raymond. And I'm tired of people doing that. I'm tired of this BS. When can we get beyond this?
Well, I got to tell you, Robin, I've read fairly recently, and students of political science have been reading it forever, is it said that democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others. So, yeah, it's ugly, it's messy, everybody advocates for their interest, and it just comes out the way it is. We're going making sausage down there, but hopefully the sausage is tasting better every year.
You know, we had heard from, I guess it was Larry Bagley yesterday and again this morning, this is part of the process. What came out of the House yesterday is part of that process. And it's going to get changed up a lot after it goes to the Senate, then back to you guys, then the conference, etc. He's close to being right, isn't he? The budget that came out of the House yesterday in no way, correct me if I'm wrong, no way will resemble the final product?
Well, those ones that are, of course, funded to where everybody likes them, they're probably going to stay similar. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot better, I think, when it all comes out there. But it's going to have to be a little bit ugly to pressure people to find out where the waste is, cut things that we don't need, identify those whatever tax credits they don't like, and see do they really measure up. But unfortunately, you got to put the screws on to get that kind of progress.
State Representative Raymond Cruz, a pleasure as always. Thank you for your time. Hope you bring the plane in safely.
Hey, thank you very much, and thanks for keeping the people informed. You do a lot to advance in this.
849, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Here's Brandon on KEEL.
And slowing things down at Walker Road and Terry Bradshaw Passway. A couple of minor accidents slowing things down as well at Eastburt, Coons, and Mercedes-Benz Drive, and at Caddo Street and Common Street. If you see anything else, make sure you let us know on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
My hair is on fire. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, 49 degrees. Don't forget Moon Griffon just after 9 on KEEL. 8:52. It's 101.7 FM 710 Keel Sports Time. Here's Brandon.
The Mudbugs lose Game 3 on the road at Corpus Christi, but hold on to a 2-1 lead in the playoff series. Game for tonight at the Ice Rays Arena. LSU fans get a chance to see how the battle for Tigers quarterback is shaping up next season when Miles Brennan, Justin McMillan, and Lowell Narcisse take snaps in Saturday's spring game. Speaking of LSU, the baseball team begins a 3-game series tonight, South Carolina. The road has not been friendly to the Bayou Bengals as they are 2-8 away from Alex Box Stadium. The Golden State Warriors and New Orleans Pelicans each have 3-0 leads in the NBA's Western Conference quarterfinals, and the Philadelphia 76ers are up 2-1 in their Eastern Conference quarterfinal series. Finally, the Boston Bruins and Washington Capitals, last night's Stanley Cup playoff winners. From the Keel Sports Desk, I'm Brandon Michael.
.101.7 FM 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Mudbugs lost last night. Playoff game number 3 in Corpus Christi. They play game number 4 tonight.
And what if they lose tonight?
Then they play game number 7 Sunday evening here at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum.
Ooh, we get another shot to see them.
Yeah, and well, you're going to get another shot to see them anyway if they don't lose. I mean, they will continue. The second playoff round will begin next Friday night here.
Right. Okay.
Against the winner of Lone
That's if they beat Corpus Christi.
Against the winner of Lone Star and Odessa.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to cover before we go?
No. Captain Shreve Neighborhood Association.
That's what I wanted
to talk about. It was chock full of events. I mean, we learned about the
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Chock full of events.
Chalk.
Chalk?
Chalk.
No, it's chalk.
CHOCK.
No, it's chalk, like on the chalkboard.
No, it's chock full, like chock full of nuts.
Like chock full of nuts coffee.
Yeah.
Y'all are ultramaroons.
Like you're chock full of bull.
We learned about the wind catcher. We learned about the April 28th election. We learned about lots of different cool people showed up. It was a good night.
So your first move as a member of the Captain Shreve Neighborhood Association Board of Directors, or just board of board people.
We're not board of board people.
Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to turn it into a wind farm. You're going to turn Captain Shreve into a wind farm.
I think the duck pond as a wind farm would be pretty good.
Yeah, well, good thing they don't kill birds.
We'll blow that air your way.
Back Monday morning 6. It happens in here. Why not at the rest of my day? 8:56, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Back Monday morning 6 till 9. Here comes Kim Commando.
deserve an extra pat on the back. Maybe an officer changed your tire or spent extra time talking to your youngster. We even want to know about officers who do good deeds while off duty. Let us share these great stories, but we need to know about them. If you want to say thanks to a police officer, deputy, or state trooper, log on to KEELnews.com and click on the Top Cop link. Download the KEEL app on your phone and click on Submit Photo or Video. Then tell us your story. We say thanks with KEEL's Top Cop, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. It's 8:59, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. One more traffic update. Here's Brandon.
Traffic starting to get a little tricky in the Shreveport-Bossier City area with a major accident slowing things down at Walker Road and Terry Bradshaw Passway. A couple of minor accidents slowing things down as well at East Burt Coons and Mercedes-Benz Drive and at Caddo Street and Common Street. If you see anything else, make sure you let us know on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and nice today with a high of 69. Cloudy skies for tonight as the low drops down to 50. Cloudy with a shower, heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night, high 71. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Courtney
Breaking
Spamer.
news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.